Easily build and add your own scroll progress bar to your Shopify or any e-commerce site. No apps, mostly copy paste. Let's go. All right, so the first thing we're going to need is our code editor since we're going to be adding this on Shopify. Okay, and from here, we're going to add a couple of files. I already have my JS and CSS files ready, but I want to show you how you can actually add that. So to do that, from assets here on the left panel, you'll be able to see different folders, and JS and CSS files are under assets. So you can click on assets and then click this button here that says new file, and just make sure to use the correct suffix or the correct file name for that specific file. So for example, if you're adding a JS file, then of course you have to add .js at the end of it, just like this one that I just created. But of course, I'm going to delete that because I don't need it anymore. I already have one here. And same goes for CSS. Just make sure to add .css at the end of your file name. All right. So secondly, we're going to need to add a new section file because we're going to be adding a new section for this feature. So click on sections and click this button again, new file. And with this one, we're going to call it scroll progress bar dot liquid. So this time we're going to you need to make sure that you name the file properly by adding dot liquid at the end of it. Okay, so let's just do that. And now that we have that ready, next thing we're gonna need is our tool for generating this feature, because we're not really coding anything here. We're trying to avoid coding and make it as simple as possible, because we're hoping that even DIY merchants or website owners are going to be able to add this feature on their own. All right, so let's pull up the tool. And this is RDC Lab. Okay, so let's click on start generating, and we're going to look for the generator that we're going to use, which is this one, page scroll progress bar generator. Open it up, and here. Okay, so from here in the configuration box is obviously where we can set things so that we can get the result that we're trying to get, depending on our use case or how we want it to appear on our theme. And when we scroll a little bit here, we'll see the preview of this feature, and as you can see, it is also responsive. When I scroll, the bar also shows the progress. So now let's go ahead and configure our progress bar here. We just have a couple of options here. First, we can select basic or theme Shopify. It depends on the use case. But since we're using it on Shopify, of course, we're going to select this one. There's just a slight difference with the code. It's just that this one has more basic and simpler coding. This one has consideration on how Shopify themes and other themes are built. So that's why it has a little bit more logic in the codes, specifically in the JS. Next is top fixed. So we can either have it at the bottom or at the top, but in this case, we're going to have it at the top of our page. And next is the offset. So the purpose of this is to set your offset space depending on your theme. Let me show you what we're using. This is Horizon, by the way. And as you can see, when I scroll, it does have a sticky nav bar. So we need to consider this. We don't want the progress bar to actually show here, we want it here. So that's the purpose of this offset field. And in this case, we're going to add 68px because that's the height of this nav bar. And reveal after scroll, it depends on how you want it to behave. Like, do you want the scroll bar to appear after, say, 5% of the total height of your screen or of your page? Like, after scrolling 5% of it, is that when you want it to appear? But here, in this case, we're just going to use 3%, which is the default. And then, so now we're ready to copy the code. All right, so let's paste it here now. And now we have the CSS code, and it needs to go to the CSS file. Of course, so we're going to remove the style tags here now. We don't need them anymore. Save it, and then just put it up here. And then we're going to copy the JS code, which is inside the script tags. And again, we're not going to need the script tags anymore because we're going to be adding them to our JS file, which is here. Save it. And earlier, I did show you how to create and add your JS or CSS file, but I haven't really shown you how you can connect it to your theme file or the theme.liquid file. So let's just say you don't have the theme.liquid file opened yet. So we're going to go back here on the left panel where the folders are and look for layout and then click theme.liquid. And from here, we're going to look for the end of the head tag because it's where mostly the linking of style sheets are. So just like these ones, style sheets of fonts. So yeah, and as you can see, I've already added the rdc.css here. And there are actually many ways you can link a CSS file, but this is a standard practice, this code here. And I'm just going to add it to the description of this video so you can just copy it. And then you can just replace it with your own CSS file, whatever the CSS file name you used. All right, so next, let's look for the end of the body tag. And as you can see, I've already added the JS file here as well. And this is where, JS files are linked, this part of the theme file, okay? And again, I'm just gonna add this to the description so that you can copy it and paste it on your file. All right, so now that these are linked, next thing we're gonna do is to link this section, right? Now, as you can see, this code is actually just a simple HTML code. It's not really a liquid code. It doesn't have any schema tags or anything like that. And because of that, for us to be able to add this section, we're going to need to do it manually. So let me show you how to do it. So from the theme file, we're going to add it here. We can add it here below the footer tag. And we're going to write some condition here because we want the theme to show it only if the template is an article template, right? So we're going to say if template dot name equals article, and we're going to do section here. And then we're going to use the section name. Okay. So basically, we're just telling Shopify that it should only just show this section if this is the template, which is for the blog post. Meaning, this is not going to appear on other pages, just blog posts. Okay? Save it. And let's see if that's going to work. So let's go to our, open our theme editor so that we can preview that template, which is the blog posts template. And as you can see right now, let's just preview it. Let's just have a full view of it. And as you can see, it does work, right? So we now have a scroll progress bar that appears every time we scroll the page, right? So if you're just trying to achieve a basic design of this feature, then definitely this is already good, right? This is something that you can already use for your website. And if you want to just make some tweaks with the colors, you can definitely just go back to your CSS file and make the changes there. The naming of these elements are very straightforward. So we have the bar, and they're obvious too. So this color is this part here, right? And this color is this, the fill. So you can always just change the color if you want. Let's say you want to turn it to a different color like green. Maybe that's your brand color, and you want to turn this bar to a gray bar. Let's save it and refresh, and let's see how that looks. And now it's now it's got different color. So you can definitely just customize it based on your brand colors, right? But what if you want a different design for it? What if you want to customize it and take the design to another level and give it a more advanced and a different look than this usual design of a scroll progress bar? And also, what if you're thinking long term and you don't want to keep coming back to your CSS file just to make tweaks with the colors, but instead you want to go to your theme editor here and be able to do stuff here, right? Because as a website owner who doesn't do coding all the time, it can be a little tricky to be looking for these codes or even this file. If you're not a developer, if you're a developer, then it's good for you. But if not, if you're just managing your own website but want to make things easy for you because you have other things to do, other things to accomplish for your business, then you want something more straightforward that you can handle through the theme editor. That's definitely the purpose of the theme editor, to make changes easier. Just like when you open this blog post, you can, like, you have fields here and you have settings here, configurations for you to set, right? So what if we want the progress bar to be like that? Well, you can definitely do it without coding. All you need to do is from this page, scroll down and go to this section that says, let AI do the rest. So this section will handle your AI prompts for you. So what it's going to do for us is, well, first we're going to configure some things here, and then this section is going to return to us an AI prompt that we can give to an AI tool, so that that AI tool will return to us a better version of this feature, of this code. Because here, as we can see, it's just a simple HTML code. It's not really a liquid code that allows us to customize things here, right? So that's what we're going to do in the next part of this video. All right, so let's take our scroll progress bar to the next level. Now here in our AI prompt section, we have a couple of options. But in this tutorial, we're only going to be using the improved design as well as the convert to Shopify liquid, right? So we're going to improve the design and then we're going to convert it to Shopify liquid so that we can use the feature here on the theme editor. Okay, so now we have these selected Next is, let me just quickly show you the tool that we're going to be using. Okay, so this is the tool and it's called Antigravity. So this is the AI tool. And what this tool does is it helps generate codes for features. It can even build apps for you and more complex projects. And there are many other tools like Antigravity. There's also Codex and other options out there if you prefer them. But what's important is that it is designed for coding, especially complex coding. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is our design. Okay, so I have prepared here our design for this progress bar. So earlier we just had a simple progress bar, but here we're gonna have a gradient color and we're also going to have this icon at the end of the fill of the progress bar. Maybe it's a store that sells football gears, right? And you have a blog and we want to make it look more, well, football-ish. But note that there are definitely other ways you can do features like this. Like you can have it in a round shape with a different design and different positioning as well. It really depends, but in this tutorial, we're going to be using this one. All right, so let's continue with the configuration for our AI prompt. So since we only selected improve design and convert to Shopify Liquid, when we view the fields here on the right side, we will see improve design and convert to Shopify Liquid because these are the only things that we said we needed for the AI prompt. And these fields are customizable. So all of the lines that has this emoji is where we can add our notes for the AI. I'll make some necessary changes here and then I'll go through everything after that. All right, so I'm done making changes with the details. Actually, for the improved design, I didn't really have anything to put here because the goal is to have a theme editor that allows us to customize the design. So, yeah, I didn't really like make much changes here. But here on the left side where it says additional context is where I've added more information. I didn't really touch the Shopify Liquid. By the way, I think it's all good. But I did add the brand here. So I just made it up, F Gears, just to help the AI understand, to give it more context of what we're trying to achieve. Niche, and then goal is UX, UI. Additional notes, I just wanted to make sure, although it already explicitly mentioned schema here, somewhere here, this one. But I just wanted to make sure that it understands that I want to be able to customize and change colors and add an icon. Because remember, we have the icon at the tip of the bar fill. I want to be able to customize that anytime I want. And then other styling options like radius. And so when you're ready and you think you've added all the context and information that you want to give the AI, then go ahead and copy it and go back to the AI tool that you're using and let's paste the prompt here. But of course, I also want to attach the design for the AI to better understand exactly what it is that we're doing. All right, and let's see what this is going to give us, and we're going to test if this is going to work. Now that it's done, let's go ahead and copy the codes. Okay, so we're going to replace this code now with this one. And then I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to go back to Antigravity and copy our CSS code. Then copy our JS code. Okay, so we're having some error here, and it's not letting us save it. But if you do get an error like this, just simply change this to this. Let's just remove the rest of the code and just, yeah, do this and save it. All right, so now we're ready to test it out. So we're going to go back to our theme editor and see how it looks and if it works. But before we do that, let's go back to our theme.liquid file, and we're going to remove the section that we added manually here, because we're now going to be able to use the theme editor to add this feature, right? Okay, so let's just reload this. Okay, and let's try and add that section, page progress bar. And as you can see, the feature works, and now it has an icon. So we just need to adjust the height because we want it to appear a little bit thicker. So let's just do that. Or maybe even thicker than that, maybe 20. Yeah, something like that. And then just adjust a little bit more. And then the border radius. So we're just gonna update the color and the icon and make it look the same as the design that we gave the AI. So let's go back here, and we're gonna go back to our theme editor and update the colors here. This one too. All right, so the colors are good, but I also want to change the bars color to this. All right. So the colors are good, and I just want to update the icon as well. So let's just save it first, and let's see how it looks on the front end. Nice, right? So now we just need to update this one. All right, so now we have uploaded the file. Let's see how that looks. So Antigravity even gave us this option to adjust the size of the icon, right? Which is great. The only thing that I want to fix here is the way this is positioned. I think it needs to be positioned a little bit more to the upper part. So we're going to make that adjustment. This is actually an easy fix, so no need for us to go back to Antigravity to fix it. We can just fix it ourselves. So we're just going to look for the icon here in the CSS file. So here it says 50%, right? So I think we need to adjust this to 30%. Maybe that was too much. Oh yeah. I think that's good. Let me try and adjust a little bit more. Maybe say 20%. Maybe that's too much. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is okay. Let me adjust a little bit more. Maybe 15%. Yeah, I think this is okay. Now, the other thing that I noticed is that Antigravity gave it this shadow effect, which I don't really like, because I want to make it seem like it's part of the bar, of this bar fill. So I want to try and fix that by removing the drop shadow, which is this one. I commented it out, but you can just completely delete it. Alright, so now the shadow is gone. So yeah, this is definitely what we asked for with all the radius, the color, definitely the design that we're going for, right? So if we have that green background color here as well, right, it's definitely going to look exactly the same as what we have here. All right, so there you go. In just a few minutes, we were able to add this amazing feature to our store using RDC Labs generator tool and its AI prompt generator. This is really good. Although AI is not perfect, it can make some mistakes, but overall, we are definitely finding these tools together with the RDC Lab and Antigravity totally useful for achieving this kind of result in a more efficient way. Great. If you found RDC Lab helpful, be sure to visit that tool in the future when you have more customizations and features to add, because I will keep adding more generators there. And if you also found this tutorial helpful, please support by hitting that like and subscribe button. Thanks, till next time.